What's good everybody, Yogi here. This is the team I'm going to be using to take on Ashura's S rank skill only. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Pretty much this is all you need to know for the first map. He's immune to jutsu sealing and immobilization. And then after he uses his jutsu, he will have 5 perfect dodges. That's it. He doesn't deal too much damage. So if you have enough damage reduction going on with your characters, especially if they have it as their field skill, then you can pretty much keep all your units together and keep the pressure on him no problem, as long as you have a good amount of healing. Another thing worth noting here is that this is pretty much my first time doing the mission. So first attempt I was able to beat it. You'll see at the end when I get the 5 pearls, as proof. But let's go ahead and go over the team real quick. You have 6-path Madara. You definitely want him on your team, at least one. Grab him as your helper if you don't have him as your own unit, because he has a 750 self-heal, and he is the only unit on this team who has self-heal. He also has the ability to ignore type disadvantage on his jutsu, but after doing the math, you still get more damage out of using his ultimate, and he also has a 30% chance of resetting on his ultimate, so better to go for that. You're going to see me using his jutsu regardless though, just to get rid of the perfect dodge that Hagoromo has. Both his jutsu and ultimate do the same thing, but I'm just doing that to keep the flow going. You have Jubito, who of course is another unit you want to bring if you have him, because he ignores type disadvantage on his ultimate and does insane damage with that. It's pretty much his main use here, since every unit on this map or this whole stage is pretty much immune to immobilization. I have Kuruma Chakra Mode Naruto because he has at least one ability that weakens the amount of heart damage by 10%. He's a fantastic combo regenerator, so that's what I'm going to be using him for most of the time. And his field skill weakens the amount of skill damage you take. His buddy skill is 20% dodge. And moving on to Kid Obito, he has the exact same field and buddy skill as Kuruma Chakra Mode Naruto. Only difference is he has a little more extra damage reduction for his field skill. He's pretty much here as a booster for my Jubito, and then Kakashi here to nuke enemies. They got a good amount of damage going on. Now before I go on talking about the last 2 units, we're about to get ready to finish off Hagoromo here, and I'm going to pretty much make sure I have both my Kakashi and Obito out in the field, my Jubito out in the field, and then use Kid Obito to boost up both of these units, and then from there I can go ahead and finish off Hagoromo. On to the second map, we have Ashura and Indra. They're both going to put up those resistances. Now they do the same type of thing, attacking constantly and then using their secret techniques eventually. I'm going to go ahead and take out Ashura first, because what he does with his jutsu is he has a chance of immobilizing, and I definitely do not need any of my units getting immobilized when I'm trying to boost them up for the next map. You guys see how much damage I did with Kakashi and Jubito, almost enough to finish him off. He just barely lived, but I was able to get rid of him pretty quickly. Now Indra, what he does is he jutsu seals, and that's fine by me, because as long as I can keep at least regular attacking on him, I can keep the pressure on him. Another thing worth mentioning is 6-path Madara, when he syncs with skill, has the ability to ignore jutsu sealing altogether. So if you have like 3 6-path Madaras, keep them all together and keep attacking him, you don't even need to worry at all about getting jutsu sealed, which is pretty darn cool. So moving on to the last 2 characters here to talk about, we have Tsunade, and her main use here is being a healer. She was pretty handy on the last map with her burst heal, and the fact that she can use it without being next to anyone else. Next best person, or even better choice, is going to be Samurai Karen, especially if you have her with her self-healing dupes, because she can heal like 400 every turn, and then also use her burst heal as well. You got the Shippuden Sakura, and I think you guys can make it work with her, honestly. I don't see why not, because I didn't really use Tsunade for damage here. And another thing worth mentioning is Tsunade has 75 healing with skill while she's out in the front, so that's literally the only amount of passive healing I get from her field skill if she's, her sync skill if she's out in the field, and then Madara is 750. And for the last character here, we have a Blazing Bash Kakashi that has 4 dupes. Yep, I said that's has. And shout out to Oppo on the friend list for having him there. Pretty much he was the best type of unit I could have grabbed besides another 6-pad Madara. And, to make it clear, I'm not expecting any of you guys to find Kakashi on your friend list. There's certainly other characters you can use anyway, like another 6-pad Madara or the last Naruto. Now, to give you guys, more info on his Kakashi, because I'm not sure a lot of people know what he does. Pretty much, he has 4 abilities on him right now, and the first one is a 20% reset on his jutsu. So if you saw that early on the first map, he was resetting a few times there. 2 of his abilities are going to be 20% heart reduction, so he has 40% right now. He's a tank against heart. And then the third ability he has is the ability to ignore type disadvantage, so he deals normal damage on jutsu, ultimate, regular attack, all that jazz. His jutsu also removes perfect dodge, so I was using that a lot along with Madara's jutsu to remove the perfect dodge on the first map, keep the flow going better. And then he also has a field skill that can boost skill damage by upwards of 500. So pretty much that's why I have the setup of my team here, so that on the last map I'll go on to the last map after using my a jutsu from the middle row. I'll use Kakashi's ultimate, and then Jubito will nuke with that 500 boost from Kakashi, along with another 500 attack boost from Madara's buddy skill. Another option that is really close to this Kakashi would be the last Naruto, and I'm talking about before he gets a limit break. Their damage is really similar. Naruto does more damage than him anyway if he has his second ability, but especially with limit break, for sure he does more damage than Kakashi on his jutsu and ultimate. He has a 250 buddy heal, which can really help you out. He also has damage reduction, so it won't be as much damage reduction as Kakashi, but it still gets the job done. So, Naruto is another fantastic person to use in place of Kakashi. And, even the heal makes it a lot better too, because Kakashi doesn't have any healing whatsoever. The last thing I want to say about that Naruto is that he needs his third ability, because it's the same thing as Kakashi, ignores type disadvantage altogether. Very important he has that. Also the main reason I don't have mine here, he doesn't have that ability yet. But anyway, when it comes to the rest of map 2, I'm going to go ahead and boost up my Kakashi and Jubito, just like I did on the first map. Now we are on to the last boss here, which is going to be Ashura and Hagoromo. They're going to put up their resistances. They also have a combo attack boost, so you definitely want to keep them separated. What I'm going to do here is go for my Kakashi's ultimate, get some decent damage off, and then follow up with Jubito's ultimate. In my head I thought this might be enough to, nuke him, kill him, and as you can see it definitely wasn't. Now if you have like 2 Jubitos and you have skill OT Naruto, OT, yep, OT, I said it right, and yeah, if you boost them up with Obito and OT, you pretty much can get like 125 attack boost versus just the 50% attack boost that I'm running right now. So, you're just going to see me adapt and figure out how to beat the raid from here, but the main thing is keeping the units separate. And they're going to use their secret techniques here and there. There's no bonus effects to worry about. The biggest problem here is the fact that Ashura's ultimate is going to be full map. So whenever you see secret technique from him, just keep in mind, if you got units that reduce damage reductions or field skill, that would be a good time to pair them up. And the main thing I'm going to be doing is just surviving as long as I can and just keep dishing out damage, using also my Naruto to generate chakra, especially when I have Tsunade out, so I can keep up her chakra regeneration, that way I can keep healing more often. And for the most part, it was a pretty easy run from here on out. Another thing worth mentioning is that both of these units have attack reduce as their field skills, so you make sure that you are out of the range of that attack reduce whenever you're using your chooses or ultimates for sure. And then the last thing is that neither of these units are immune to slip damage, so if you bring units with slip damage, that can help you out a lot and severely speed up this run and make it easier at the same time. None of my units here have that, so I can't utilize it, but it is another way to go about beating it. Definitely would have helped out on a boss like Ashura with so much HP. So from here you guys can just enjoy the rest of the run. Alright guys, so that's it for this Ashura S rank skill only guide. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe before you go if it did. Peace.